Jay, dear, did you find yourself? I had you all laid out.
I did, darling. Where's Alex going to sit?
Over there.
On my left, near my heart. Molly, have you ever had a spot in your heart for that man? It's not beyond my comprehension. He's a man among men. A brother couldn't be more helpful to me than Alex has been. He opened up avenues to me that I couldn't step my foot into. What love does for a man.
Of course. How does the table look, Jay?
Molly, darling, next year this time we'll be eating out of golden plates.
Why, Jake? Will it taste any better?
It will.
Why?
Because my notes will be paid off. The debt on my insurance policy will be paid. I'll be able to rest in my grave if anything happens to me.
Debbie?
Could you help me with this, Mrs. Goldberg?
Sure, darling. Turn around. The zipper. Well, so change your face already, Debbie, because I think everything is going to be all right.
You told me not to say anything to Alex, so I didn't.
Maybe you wouldn't have to. Did you hear what little William said in the show and tell at school?
No, I didn't.
He got up in the kindergarten with a bulldozer toy Alexander gave him, and with a big loud voice he said, "This my father gave me." Nobody think of that?
Did he really say that?
Would I say if he didn't say? And they went already to the circus, and to the botanical, and to the planetarium. But Debbie, remember I said not to make up your mind too quick? Now maybe you wouldn't have to make it up at all.
I hope so. Because I'd do anything rather than hurt Alex.
You wouldn't hide him, darling. Come, get ready. And come, change your face. Well, darling, let me see. So change your face. Now let me see a smile already. Well, no? So go, get dressed.
Mal, dear.
Yeah.
Where's William going to sit?
Next to Alexander, and Debbie will sit here. And David, darling, help me with the soup. Yeah, I want you to taste it. Come, you'll taste my soup and tell me what. Here, dear. David, see, salt, pepper, what? Don't burn yourself. Salt, pepper, huh?
Pinch a little salt.
Yeah.
And did William tell you what he said in school about show and tell?
He did. David, I want you to taste my fish. Such fish you never tasted. Buffalo and pike and carp. Huh?
Wonderful. Did you hear what Alex promised to put Mrs. Morris in charge of one of his stores when he opened? Why am I asking you such a question? So you put the words in his mouth.
David, not one syllable to Jay, please. I want everything to be status quo. You, Mrs. Goldberg! David, darling, I'll take the yoo-hoo and you'll get dressed, yes? No. 1 second. David, the guest will be here momentarily. Take your shoes, dear. And if you'll be more comfortable to wear your old shoes, David, so wear your old shoes.
Well, I'll try them on again and see. When I was a young boy, new shoes used to sing a song. Now they're silent.
Yes, Mrs. Kramer?
Mrs. Goldberg, I'm so aggravated.
Again?
I don't know what I'm going to do. My mother put so much salt in the fish, we won't be able to eat it.
Ma, Grandma's putting more salt in the fish.
Can you imagine that?
That's it. Did you taste the fish?
Yeah, Ma.
A little more salt?
No, Ma, it's just right.
Then I'll put pepper.
Mrs. Goldberg, if you could just give me one piece of fish, just for Mr. Kramer.
I'll send in a few pieces your mother shouldn't see. Emily, let me see how you look. Come. Turn. David, who's bigger? Well, soon Sam will be ahead over me. Sammy, did you fill out?
Oh, Ma, please.
Sammy.
Ma, will you stop nagging?
That's a vocabulary. David, I nag.
You do, Ma.
Why? Why? Because I want something better for you? You know, me you have to take as is. Ready-made. But for you, I want something better. Rosalie, again with the coat.
I love it, Ma. I want Uncle David to see it on me.
Sammy, did you take my striped tie?
Why, did you want to wear it?
So I'd leave it. Papa wear is spotted. Go inside. I have a few pieces of fish. Take them into Mrs. Kramer. Rosalie, dear, did you take the sponge cake to Mrs. Van Ness?
I did, Ma. New shoes, Uncle David?
Mm-hmm.
I love new shoes.
Not me. When new shoes get old, I love them. Not before.
Uncle David, if you didn't know me, how old would you say I was?
If I didn't know you, I would say, 18.
As old as that?
Uh-huh. Would you like to be 18?
I'd like to be 16 first.
You will be. I was 16 before I was 18.
Ma, company's here already.
I'll be there in a minute. I'm slipping on something.
Yes.
Is Mrs. Goldberg in? I'm Mr. Gordon.
Ma, it's for you.
I'll be there momentarily.
Won't you sit down?
Thank you.
Yes? Hello, Mr. Gordon. I would like you to meet my Uncle David. It's Mr. Gordon.
How do you do? I believe we met on the telephone.
Mr. Gordon,
I must see Debbie, Mrs. Goldberg.
But
She won't come to the telephone, and
Molly, will you please talk to that boy?
Jake, I'd like you to meet Mr. Gordon, my music appreciation.
How do you do?
How do you do?
You're the gentleman responsible for my wife's culture.
Well, Mr. Gordon, it was so nice that you stepped
Molly,
in.
where is your hospitality? Aren't you asking Mr. Gordon for supper?
Mr. Gordon has to tattle. His mother is expecting him tonight, Friday night.
My mother lives in Seattle, Washington, so she's hardly expecting me tonight.
Then by all means stay for dinner. Molly, put on another plate.
Ted,
Jake, take the door.
this wasn't your idea, I hope.
Alex?
Jake.
Glad to see you.
Hello, Alex.
Molly. Hello, Debbie.
Hello, Alex.
Alex, I'd like you to meet Mr. Gordon, my night school.
How do you do?
How do you do?
Mr. Gordon's mother lives in Seattle, Washington.
Seattle, Washington. I have friends in Seattle, Washington. Oh, excuse me. Debbie, you've met my fiancé, haven't you, Mr. Gordon?
Oh, yes, we've met.
Mr. Abel lives in Greeleyville, Indiana. We went to school together. I must say, I was the brightest boy in the class.
Mrs. Goldberg, tell him to leave. What's he doing here? Why did you ask him to come? If he doesn't leave, I will. I'll just say I'm not feeling well.
Debbie, did you show Mr. Goldberg your watch?
Oh, it's beautiful.
Good evening.
Good evening, Mrs. Morris. With you?
Mine, but a lovely new suit, will you?
Oh, Molly, darling, now that we're all the